everybody, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we have got internet and power, so yay, that is all a very good thing. Hang on, let me double check that we are transmitting over here and make it so that I can see when y'all come on, and leave me a comment so that I can talk and answer to you. Okay, so this is the card that I gave you the sneak peek of this morning. It uses the beautiful Friendship, actually, Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. I'm going to show you that in just a second, and the Beauty of Friendship bundle, which has this gorgeous stamp set, and there's a couple of really cool stamps in here. I'm going to show you just one, but the others are like it. And then of course it has a matching die set. All right, so it's very cool. And just so you know, in case I forget to tell you later, hey everybody, appreciate y'all joining. Hope you're having a great weekend. Just in case you're interested at all in getting this, you might take a look at my special bundle number 2, the It's a Beautiful World bundle. This is included in there, and there's another couple of great bundles in there as well at a pretty nice little 10 to 15% discount. So just in case you're interested. Okay, so first I wanted to show you the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. This is absolutely stunning. You can see this piece has already been a little bit used up. This has wood grain and then the beautiful forest. It's kind of like a forest that's changing to fall. And then we have this piece, front and back. Front and back. I love this with the misty moonlight in there. You know, we don't think about putting blue with the autumn colors, but it really does work. And if you think about it, blue sky, autumn colors, kind of perfect. This is the pattern that I used today. I just cut it into a full card front size. And then on the back, you have this very watercolory looking, but you can see the forest for the trees. No, sorry. And then we have this one. Very pretty. I love this. That would be very nice just as a card front, just like that. And then we have a much more wintry version. All right. Very pretty paper. Very pretty paper. All right. I tell you what, the paper in this catalog is really pretty spectacular. I'm really impressed with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. You'll be glad to know I have done some card cutting ahead of time. And what I did, I used the layering circles dies. Okay, so what I did to start with is I cut my piece of that DSP that I showed you, and from the front of it, I cut this smooth shaped circle. Okay, just like that. And then I made a couple of mats. I've got Misty Moonlight and Cinnamon Cider. I'm going to double mat this card front. And what I did, this is just a little tip for you guys to save a little cardstock. I would only do this on the front mat. You can actually, if you need to cut some die cut pieces out, you could actually just use the mat. And when you get everything covered up, you won't even know it's there, but you will know that you have saved some cardstock. I know, Jean, it's gorgeous paper. Beautiful. Okay, so I have those pieces, and what I did is I used, so basically this is the matting that I've used. I've got this circle, which is smooth shaped, and then I have a slightly larger, very slightly larger in Misty Moonlight scalloped, and then the next largest one really in Cinnamon Cider. Okay, so we're going to go with a double matte theme here today. It's a double matte kind of day. It is. Here, let me put these back where they go. It's like a Legos game. There we go. Okay, whew. Got them all back. All righty. So let me set these aside. So let's just go ahead and start doing a little matting. Little matting. We're going to mat this on first Misty Moonlight. Hey, Karen. And just use a little liquid glue. Like I said, I love the Misty Moonlight, and I really, truly only double matted it because I really couldn't decide which one I liked the best. So I did both. Why do one if you can do both? I really kind of made a mess of that, didn't I? My goodness. Okay, and then we will mat on the Cinnamon Cider. I love Cinnamon Cider. It's one of my very favorite browns. So rich, very much a rich autumny color. And I think this would be an awesome card for a guy, don't you? I mean, I don't see what guy wouldn't like this. And then I'm going to take those die cut scallop circles that I made and mat them up, make my little stack here. And finally add this. Now you're probably thinking, I wonder why she didn't put a dimensional there. I certainly could have, but I decided to reduce the number of dimensionals because my my sentiment is a little bit high because of the kind of fun twine technique that I used. Okay, so now I'm just going to use liquid glue to adhere this over the top of there. And all you want to do here is kind of make sure that you get everything lined up. I mean, you're going to have a gap between the design, but you for certain want to make sure that, you know, the trees are like going up and down. Just, you know, that's just me though. You can do what you like. All right. And it's real watercolory, so it's pretty easy to do that. Okay, so there it is. We'll just get that, and I'm going to kind of wipe the back off there just so that I don't stick it to my grid paper. Not saying I've ever done that, except, you know, I totally did. All right. And that will all stick down here in a minute. Okay, so let's set that aside. Now, what's fun about this die set, among other things, obviously, you've got these, you've got a stamp that stamps your trees, and then you've got dies that you can cut a solid treetop, and then in a coordinating color, you can cut a detailed treetop. And then you can put it over the trunk. Nice. And you can do the same in a smaller version. And you have a couple of little birds. I did not use the birds. But it also has sentiment label dies, which is fun. So I've used both of them here. And what I did is I stamped the Thinking of You sentiment in Cajun Craze on basic white, and I cut it with the long die. And then I cut a piece of the wood grain with the smaller die. Now this is kind of a, if you look, you've got your catalogs now, so if you look in your catalog in the Beauty of the Earth suite, you'll see I kind of cased some ideas from one of their samples. I mean, you know, what the heck? They're pretty awesome samples. Let me show you what I did that is really the funnest. A little time consuming, but it's the funnest. Except now I've totally just locked, wait a minute, I'll find it, there it is. Before we go too much further, let me go ahead and adhere my sentiment to that little doohickey. I know, I like it when there's sentiment die and dies included in one set. That's very nice. Okay, so really all I did there is just adhere my sentiment to that little rectangle. Okay, and we're going to set it aside. Now, one of the cool new embellishments in the new catalog is the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. And you get a roll each. You get 5 rolls in it. You get black, I believe that's Sahara Sand, very vanilla, white, and crumb cake. Okay, so what I did is I took 2 lengths of the crumb cake, 1 length of the Whisper White. I used about 16 inches of all of them, and I tied a knot at the top. Can you see that? I tied a knot at the top, and then I braided those pieces and tied a knot at the bottom. So I have like, it's like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, only it is not gold. So there you go. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on my card front, and it's going to catch what I'm going to make here just in just a second. I'm going to put it right there. Like so, just like so, as in so. And then I'm going to loop this around my hand, keep a couple ends out, and kind of turn it like that in a figure 8. Okay? And then I'm going to very skillfully, did you see how I did that? I mean, it was amazing. It was a beautiful thing. So complicated how I did that. I'm just adhering that onto the card front on the glue dots. Easy peasy, nice and squeezy. You know what, Angie? Don't even I only did it because I peered closely at the sample and I saw that that's what they had done, and I was like, oh, I could totally do that. I can do that. Now I'm going to take and put a couple of dimensionals here on either side of the, so kind of nestled in amongst there, like so. I just kind of keep putting this back to be sure I'm not getting bigger than my eyes, bigger than my britches. And then I'm going to take these covers off. See, y'all, when I say on a blog post that I use a double stack of dimensionals, this is what I'm talking about. Why am I doing this? Because that twine, when it's doubled up like that, you can see it's kind of thick, right? And if I used those dimensionals as they are now, you'd get all sorts of odd little bumps and lumps in your sentiment. But if you stack them up a little higher, like this, with a double stack of dimensionals, then it clears, it creates like a little channel for your twine. Okay, so remember that if you're using a thicker something, like I almost always will use a double stack if I have a double linen bow, a double loop linen thread bow or something like that. All right, I'm just going to pull this to me just a second so it can kind of get straight, because I like straight. Sometimes I like straight. Right there. Okay, and there we go. Now, I'm just going to leave that like that. I'll probably cut these little ends like so and leave it just like that. Now, if you start and you have a little less than you need, it doesn't matter. You're fine. It's all good. It's just kind of a loopy loop. Think Farrah Fawcett, not Kate Jackson. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and set that aside and make our innards. Now, let me tell you what. If you are going to cut die cuts out of your mats, I highly recommend, at least for me, and you can do what you like, obviously, because, you know, it's your cards and stuff. Nobody wants a lumpy, bumpy card. That is correct. Hi, Peggy. I recommend not doing the mats on your inner liner, and here is why. I believe if you've got a big hole in your mat and you try to write a message, you're going to have a problem with that. So I try to limit my die cutting out of my mats to the card front mats. Did that make sense? I said mats a whole lot of times right there, but I hope you know what I mean. All right, so we're going to just mat this again. So it's a double mat, Misty Moonlight on top, Cinnamon Cider as the secondary mat. And just so you know, if you're interested, the Cinnamon Cider is my normal mat size. The Misty Moonlight is my normal card front or inner liner size, but I have then cut the inner liner down just a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a sentiment in here. And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this one right here. This is You Truly Inspire Me. And I'm using Cajun Craze. Let me make sure it's sort of straight. Okay, like so. And I'll keep that out and hopefully I don't screw it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some early espresso and I'm going to stamp the smaller of the trunks, and I'm going to let it kind of go off the edge of the card stock like that. Okay, now this is so cool, you guys. I love this stamped image. So this is the treetop. Watch what it does, okay? This is amazing. I was amazed when I did it. Maybe I'm easily amazed, I don't know. Okay, so let me just pull it to me just a little bit. Okay, one stamp. Look how you get that, can you see it? Isn't that so cool? Wow, I know how you know, Deborah. I do know. Isn't that neat? I love that. That's one stamp. And the other one, the large one, does the same exact thing. Okay, so that is a very, very handy thing to have in your kit bag. Okay, next, I'm going to take this little dotted dooha. Okay, I'm going to wipe it off because I've got a Misty Moonlight right now. And I'm just going to take some of my Cajun Craze and I'm going to stamp around the tree. And I'm going to stamp maybe twice. And when you're doing like this, I think it's kind of good to turn the stamp every once in a while so that it doesn't look like you stamped the same stamp 12 times, even though, of course, that's exactly what you did, right? Okay, now I'm also going to do the same thing in Misty Moonlight. If you look at the DSP, you'll notice that there's splotches of color everywhere. Okay, and then because I really like it, I'm going to put one right there. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do there. We'll go ahead and put that, put the card together and decorate our envelope, and we'll be ready to go. Hey, Faith, I don't always, but when I remember, I don't always cut the dies out of my mats, but when I do, I use Stampin' Up! Dies. No, just kidding. That was a play on a commercial. I know you knew that. Yeah, I try to remember to do it. I don't always remember, but it is a really good way to save a little cardstock. It's, oh, shoot, fire. Dang it. It's a really good thing to do when you are maybe like down on a cardstock color. Let me see if I can get that to come off. Just about the time I was thinking, I'm going to get all the way through this here video. Well, I'm going to play with it. So you guys get to see a little improv. What do you think? Little improv. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to add a tree there. Just so that I can, because I need to, because I want to hide that. So what I'm going to do, you're learning a little tip here. I am protecting my mats with a sticky note. So then I'm going to first stamp the actual treetop. Like that. And then I will get my early espresso back out. See, it's in the wrong spot for an embellishment. If it was a little closer to the sentiment, I could have done that, but it would have stuck out like a sore smudge. It really would have. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to put my branch here. Like so. And then I'm going to add another couple of dots to it. And it's going to look just like I meant to put it there. Just like I meant to do it. Hey, Kathleen. Appreciate you coming. You came on a day that I made an error. So, you know, that's always good. Never know. Is it good for demonstrators to make mistakes or bad? I don't know, but I just do it and I can't seem to help it. Okay, so now it's as if it never happened. So now you've learned another technique. If you screw something up after you've matted, use a sticky note and you can fix it. Okay? Thank you, Terry. All right, now I'm going to close my ink pads and then I'm going to wipe my hands off because apparently I've got a little misty moonlight somewhere. Got a little misty moonlight somewhere. All right. And then I'm going to put this all together in a Cajun Craze card base. The very fall colors, but I think perfect for a dude. If you have a need for a guy card, I think this would be great. Don't be afraid of the fact that there's some twine on the guy card. Guys like twine, they simply won't admit it. Okay? And it isn't all froofy. Now, if it was all sparkly pink twine, they might have an issue, but they can't have much of an issue about looks like a rope, looks like a lasso. Thanks, Jenny. I'm glad. I'm glad that y'all can learn something. That is the whole point of me doing this, is to help you guys learn some ideas. All right, now I'm just going to use some dimensionals. No, I was not going to get through this entire thing without dimensionalizing something besides a sentiment. That's like weak. Okay. And we'll just pop this on the front. And then hopefully I can do the envelope without making a huge mess. So I know you guys all have your catalogs. Are you loving the new catalog, or what's the general consensus? I love it. So you'll totally hurt my feelings if you don't love it. Not really. You won't. I would not take it personally because I did not make it. I am just going to reap the benefit of being able to use all the pretties. I love all the new pretties. All right, so there we go on the front. And there's that. So we'll put a tree, one of our trees, on the front of our envelope. Yes, I think it's beautiful. I love so many of the things. I mean, I am sorry that some things went away. If y'all are bummed about stitch shapes going away, please call Stampin' Up! And tell them you're bummed about stitch shapes going away so that they get all that feedback that says, oh, why would you do such a thing? Give us our stitched shapes back. We need it. All right, and here goes our one stamp and done treetop. You don't have a catalog? How did that happen? I don't understand. Should you have gotten one from me? If you should have, yell out and I will drop one in the mail. I don't know why you wouldn't have gotten one. Oh, let's see. I don't want to do my little dots in cinnamon. I want to do my little dots in Misty Moonlight and Cage and Craze. I love these dots. I love these little splotches. I don't always love splotches that Stampin' Up! Puts in stamps, but these make me very, very happy for some reason. I don't know. They're just perfectly spaced, perfectly sized. Oh my gosh. Well, Shelly and I will have to agree to disagree because I think we have new people coming in who don't already have it. And it's like saying, well, everybody has put pepper on their food at this meal, so we're going to take it off and you won't have it for the next meal. That's what I see like. Okay, there we go. Some little splotches in Cage and Craze, and that is all for the front. And then I've got some more of the wood grain, and we're going to put it on the envelope flap. I agree, Terry, completely. Maybe we'll see something in the next catalog that is comparable, and maybe that's it. We probably just don't know the whole big picture. Probably just don't know the whole big picture. All right. And let's see, somewhere, oh, there it is. There it is. And we'll just give this a quick fussy cut. This is the easiest fussy cutting on the planet when you're just trimming it off. Just so you know, that's a 6-inch wide piece of paper, and you need about 2.5 inches to cover the envelope flaps. You could probably get away with 2 1/4, but that starts to make it so you have to really work at it. So go 2.5. And there you have it, guys. What do you think? A nice masculine card, or certainly for any woman who likes the muted twos. Remember twos, autumns and winters. So if you've got autumns in your life, this would be an awesome card for that individual. All right. So there it is. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope I will see you on Thursday at 1 o'clock for my YouTube video. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend and a wonderful work week. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye. Yes, Joan, they're gone now.